This is Cyberpunk 2077 running on a 3.3 gigahertz Intel Core i9 9820X with 32 gigs of RAM and a 8 gig AMD Radeon R9 390X. So currently we are running at 1920 1080. We have medium settings. Pretty much everything's at medium, just the standard medium setting preset. It is running at the quality setting of AMD FX 2.1. And yeah, it's actually fairly playable. This video card I think is really important to look at how well it can handle modern games because of the fact that this video card it's the same design that AMD used for much newer cards. So, for example, it's got the same cooler as AMD's GTX 1080 and some of their 1080 Ti cards. So somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing could easily mistake this card, especially because it's 8 gigs. All somebody will see is 8 gig. They'll see the video card, they'll see a modern video card, and then they'll see 8 gigs. Then they'll see Radeon R9 390X, which sounds like a modern video card, even though it really, I mean, it's an okay card, you can see here, but it is an older card with some limits on capability. So I think taking a look at how well it runs definitely is worthwhile. It's definitely an interesting card. If you can get it for the right price, it's not a bad card. I got this one for under $50. I think I paid $35 for this card off the local market. You're probably not going to see them that cheap on eBay. Typically when I see them on eBay, it seems like people want $75, $85 for, which I have bought GTX 1080s on eBay for $80. So it's definitely not a good option at anything over 50, and I wouldn't really even want to pay 50 for it. The guy I bought it from was actually really nice. I was originally going to give him 50 just because I couldn't find one cheaper, but he was like, I'll take 35. I was like, okay, cool. So if you're watching this video, thanks a lot. I appreciate it because I didn't actually really want to pay $50 for a 390X, but I also really wanted to test one because I do think it is an important card, especially with, I think, how many people are going to see these and think they're still a modern card. Because visually, it's a really impressive card. It's actually a really good-looking card. So visually, it's not a bad card. It's just it's a little on the old side. Although it is actually a little bit newer than the GTX 1080. I think when I looked, what I saw was that these came out just after, like a couple months after the 980. Let's up our settings just a bit. So I'm gonna up it to the high preset. I'm gonna leave the FX running. I think the high preset is gonna do more for us than turning off the FSR. So we're gonna leave the FSR running and see how it does on high. I bet it's playable. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Oh, I think my bike's going to explode. That would be unfortunate. This really isn't bad. It's definitely, I mean, it's sub 60, so if you gotta have that 60, this just might not be the thing for you, but why is it still doing this? Didn't think I had it set to give me that much slowdown. Yeah, I mean, if you absolutely got to have 60, definitely you're going to need more card than this, or you're going to need to go lower settings. But this isn't bad. I mean, it's acceptable. It's definitely acceptable frame rate for what it is. Oops. The only thing I ever care about is, does it generally look smooth? And for some setups, smooth is a lower frame rate than others. But typically with Cyberpunk, I find that if you can keep it from dropping below like 35 FPS, which this is hitting a solid like 45, 50 or so FPS. So yeah, you got a little slowdown there for a second, but this is not bad. I could play this. I could play this all day like this. I would definitely. This isn't bad enough to detract from the game. So I'm going to give this definitely playable from low all the way to high, to be honest. But anyway, I hope you guys find this interesting, and thanks for watching the video.